Well, joining us now in Davos is Ajay Singh of SpiceJet. So from Dublin to Davos, that's been your journey over the last few days. You were meeting with financiers in Dublin, I'm given to understand, to finance that 200 aircraft deal that you've just inked. What's the response been like?
I think the response is terrific. I think people recognize that India is the fastest growing aviation market in the world. And despite the problems related to ease of doing business and ease of taking out aircraft from India, I think people have no choice but to be in that market. I think people, lessors recognize that this is going to be the third largest aviation market in the world.
But lessors have also had a bad experience in India with some specific airlines.
Yes.
So has that made them very apprehensive, cautious at all?
I think that firstly they recognize that they need to be in India and they need to find good partners to work with. Secondly, I think they are looking very positively at the changes that are being made by the government of India to enable them to easily repossess aircraft in case of default. So we had a very, very good reception at the conference. In fact, while we were there, the leading journal for lessors at the conference ran a cover story on SpiceJet. So there was a lot of excitement about this whole turnaround story of SpiceJet and how well the airline is doing, and in the context of the significant growth in India. So we feel that there's very little challenge to finance the aircraft. The question is what terms.
What terms, and by when do you hope to be able to close the negotiations?
So honestly, we could have closed quite a lot of deals in Dublin itself, but we want to make sure that we create a competitive environment. And so we will be coming up with a request for proposals next week.
Okay.
And based on the response to that, I think in the next couple of months, we'll close financing, at least for aircraft which are to be delivered in 2018 and 2019.
Okay, and that is the amount would be?
That will be significant because roughly around 20 aircraft are going to be delivered in 2018 and to 19. And so the amount is going to be about $1 billion.
Quickly, I want to ask you about the impact of crude oil prices. We've just heard from the International Energy Agency today. We heard from OPEC yesterday or early this morning on the demand forecast, which is looking or has been raised higher. And that seems to suggest that at least oil prices could trade between that 55, 60 or between at least $50 to $60 and could be volatile. How are you coping with the possible volatility as well as the uptick?
Well, firstly, we are quite comfortable if the prices remain range-bound in the $50 to $60 mark. The new order, in part, is a hedge against rising oil prices. The new MAX aircraft are 20% more fuel efficient than the existing NG aircraft. In addition to that, with this order, we've reduced the cost of acquisition of planes and the cost of finance for those planes, as well as maintenance cost for our fleet going forward. So all these cost reductions will act as a hedge. Of course, we continue to work on other costs for the existing fleet, as well as increasing our revenue in various ways, better yield management, more ancillary revenue, and so on. And hopefully all this will act as a hedge against a potential spike in oil price.
Well, thanks very much for joining us here in Davos. We wish you the very best of luck, and we hope to hear from you when you close your financing deal, and best of luck with that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
With that, it is time for us to wrap up this NBC TV 18 special. From all of us here, goodbye. Many thanks for watching.